Welcome everyone to the Horrorcast. I am your host, Major Lord 212. I'm here today with Mike. What's up, Mike?
Hey, what's up, Joe? How you doing, buddy?
All right, bro. And we're going to do a Walking Dead podcast today on the Horrorcast. And this is stemming from Season 3, Welcome to the Tombs. And also, too, because I got a lot of heat from my videos with the Walking Dead. A lot of people very angry with me. So we're going to talk about going again, talking about, I hated the Season 3 finale. You know, after 16 episodes, the #1 show in America, The Walking Dead, and they're building up a war. We're going to war with the governor, Rick, and we never even seen them on camera together. Not even a one punch thrown, nothing. They've been building it up and building it up and building it up. We've even had filler episodes, driving me nuts. People just can't wait for it. We finally get the episode, and nothing. We don't get what we want. And as an episode, it was good, I gotta say, but it's supposed to be a finale. The finale of any show is supposed to be better than, you know, build up for multiple episodes. It's supposed to be amazing. It's supposed to be great. And coming from the last finales of Season 2 and Season 1, I thought this was absolutely terrible. Now, Mike, I want you to say what you like about the show, and we can compare and talk about the Andrea thing.
Well, yeah, I figure we'll just start out since there was about 5 different stories going on at once. Let's take a hit on each story. Let's start it out with the governor beating the crap out of Milton. Just punch him in the face, just beating the shit out of him, throwing him in the room with Andrea there, right? Told him he had a chance, man. All he has to do is kill her. He refused. Of course, the governor stabbed him and left him there to turn into a zombie, locked in a room with Andrea tied to a chair. Now, I agree with you on some aspects of this scene, but as she had a pair of pliers on the ground, she was trying to get with her feet, to work the handcuffs off of her. But, you're going to say the same thing. She was at least talking to him for a couple minutes and not really.
Oh,
and this guy was changing into a zombie, right?
This guy's like, okay, I'm going. Okay, wait a minute. I got one eye open.
He keeps passing out. She's giving this fucking Oscars speech and shit. I'm like, what the hell? I remember yelling at the TV, get the goddamn pliers already.
He's like, I'm dying. Okay, I'm almost there. Did you got it yet?
Right, and then when she finally gets the pliers up to her hand from her feet, she undoes one, then he gets up, right? He comes towards her. Then she's working on the other one instead of giving him a stab in the eye. Wouldn't you have done that?
I mean, Jesus, really? I mean, this is ridiculous. She had been through so many situations in Season 1, okay? I mean, God, she should have been dead a million times over. At the end of Season 2, she was left behind where there was millions of walkers destroying the barn. She's shooting these people. She ran out of bullets. She was choked behind the tree by one walker, and then 3 walkers came on her chest, and she stabbed each of their heads with one object. Okay, she was in the Season 2 stuck in the arch where she had like pliers. She stabbed the guy in the eye.
That's right.
She lived every which way known to man. Not only that, but isn't she like a lawyer? Couldn't she like multitask? Right. That she's talking to Milton. He's a client. I'm like, she's like, how you doing? Yeah. You feel all right?
And on top of that, she was stabbed by Shane.
Yeah, like you got that so fresh feeling. I mean, are you a zombie yet? Are you a zombie?
Right.
I'm like, what? Right. What are you doing? What are you doing? Like, we know that the showrunner of Walking Dead, it was leaving. Okay. He knew this, and he says, you know what? I'm going to really not give my best work because I'm out of here. I don't care. And it's like, it's not only the Andrea thing, but they've been building this crap up. It's been hot, 12 million viewers, everything. And everybody's death meant something. Shane's death meant something, okay? From Season 1, up like, all right, he Rick. He put him in the hospital. He closed the door with the bed. All right, he wound up sleeping with his wife, got her pregnant, or whoever's the father of the child. You got zombies going around. You're dealing with that. They're together. Like, he's the leader of the group. Now Rick is the leader. They had that little like ego thing going, and Shane's trying to take the wife, the kids, and be the family man while fighting zombies. And meanwhile, that's not even his life. And then they finally built up to where when Shane died, boom, it was explosive. Am I right?
Yeah, you're absolutely correct, man.
Built up when Dale died, there was a purpose. Like, he was always the voice of reason to everybody. At one point in time, everybody had a problem with Dale. Like, even Rick's like, oh, I know that when Dale's talking to me, I have a problem. And it's like
yeah.
Even Shane was like, you don't give me those guns, I'm gonna kill you. And it's like he didn't. And then when Dale was about to die, Shane didn't even kill him. Nobody, because he respected him. You know, everybody's death had a purpose. Okay, Lori died. You built up the whole thing that after Shane died, she's pregnant. She's going to get burnt. They don't have the tools to do a C-section. They know that the moment they cut her open, she's going to become a walker in an hour or two, but they got to save the baby. And then, boom, Carl, her own son, shoots her in the head rather than her become a walker, right? Which we've never seen on camera, mind you. We've never seen we've never seen that. But I got to say, this death with Andrea meant nothing. Nothing. Because you mean to tell me that a weakling, skinny, scrawny little Nerford or whatever he is, like Milton, is basically, he's she's got an arm free, she's got a weapon in her hand. Okay? She could have broke his leg, she could have like stabbed him in the throat, she could have like she could have grabbed ripped his teeth out, something. And you mean to tell me that he got a bite on her? Man, he's dealt with guys that are like 100 pounds.
Oh yeah.
It's like not even 100 pounds soaking wet.
Right.
And you mean to tell me that he was able to get a bite on her? Oh.
Right. Well, hey man, I get it. All the other characters you mentioned, they did a big. It was more of a big ending for them when they passed, definitely. Even with Tyrese, T-Dog, I mean.
As much as you hated her, people are saying to me on my channel this. They're like, listen, well, what would you do, Matrix Lord? Well, I would have her die like that, obviously, because, like, even if she would have died killing the governor or something, I mean, it was garbage, I thought. Totally.
Well, in the end, you know what, though? In the end, I guess she shot herself, and that's something that she didn't want to do before. Remember, they used to keep the guns away from her. She was suicidal.
It's a good plot point, but...
I get it. I don't think she was... I wasn't ready to see her go yet,
Listen, the whole thing about Rick's is that they were tough. I mean, look at Glenn. He's tied to a chair. He's got to deal with a walker. I mean, they became vicious. They became skilled assassins.
He killed that walker with a phone.
They became skilled assassins. To tell me that all the thousands of walkers you've killed, you can't kill this one guy when you had 3 people on you, right, bite you, and you stabbed through each of their flesh. Why do you think the person choked you? It was not believable. I know it's fantasy, but listen, the thing is, we know it's fantasy. We know there's a plot. We know, like, as a writer, okay, you built a character for the beginning and the end. They say that no one's safe. They're all going to die. And you know what? They kind of made everybody hate Andrea when she was siding with the governor. And then at the end, that little speech, that was garbage. That whole speech, she's talking to Rick. Oh, I liked everybody. I don't want anybody to die. I don't want anybody to this. It just didn't. I didn't even care about that speech because I'm like, you're Andrea. You're like shooting people on the head, but pinpoint accuracy, and you can't even stab the guy in the eye or something. I didn't believe it.
Right, exactly, man. All right, well, let's move on to this. Governor takes his people. He's about to. Tyrese decides to stay back with the, with the people in the town. He doesn't want to. He don't want to be really involved in this world. Protect the women and children, which shows a lot for his character, and that's why he's going to be a character to look for the next couple of seasons. He's going to be the main guy, definitely. He's going to be a hero, but not jumping the gun or anything. But okay, so the governor gets his people to the prison. We get to see them go through some booby traps. Then eventually the prison camp man starts attacking. Gets them all running away and shit, man. Okay? Then on top of that, the governor gets pissed off because all his people ran away, man. He chased his own people down and gunned them all down in the middle of the street. How fucking sick was that scene? You look into his face. He's a sick, twisted motherfucker. Go ahead, tell me what you think.
I love the governor.
I do too. Yeah.
You want to eat his guts? I mean, this guy, he took Merle. He ate his fingers off with his teeth.
Beautiful scene, yeah.
This guy had fish tanks, walker heads, zombies' heads, and they're alive in the fish tank. This guy is sick. He had his daughter that he couldn't bear to be part of as a zombie, feeding her, combing her hair. Her flesh is coming off her face, her scalp, and this guy, nuts. And I love it. He's so sadistic and so opposite of coming from Doctor Who. I mean, he was the next Doctor, human guy. I mean, he was the hero there, and here he's like sadistic. He's maniacal. Oh my God, like he doesn't care. Like shooting.
Exactly.
It's like those people lived the war. He shot all his freaking people.
Yeah.
This guy's great. He's a great villain. But the thing is, too, here we go again. You see Glenn, you see Maggie, you see them shooting at the governor, but you never see screen time with Rick looking at the governor or anything like that. Like they've been building this, sitting across the table with each other, like going to go to war unless you give. He's like you want Michonne and stuff like that. It's like, and then they want to, and they never got to see that.
Well, I see what you're saying. I know we all wanted the epic battle, but I'm not. And who knows who's going to win? But I'm not. I wasn't ready for the governor to get killed off yet.
I know that because he's a.
I wasn't. That's by the way, for those who don't know, that's David Morrissey, who played in a special episode of Doctor Who, The Next Doctor. And he does such a wonderful job as a sick, sadistic creep. But you love him. Well, I do anyway. I think he's a great, evil, bad guy. I hate for him to leave the show just yet. I think eventually we'll get the showdown between him and Rick, and I have a feeling they probably have something planned, because obviously going by the comic books, which you really shouldn't with this, the governor would have probably been dead, when he invaded the prison. So who knows? Isn't
Andrea alive in the comics for like a while?
Yeah, and then not only did the governor, his two henchmen with him. So what are they gonna do? Like, I'm so curious. Are they just gonna live in the woods and become really creepy with machetes and shit, and just start becoming cannibals and shit?
You know what it is? It didn't make any sense how Rick lets a hiker go with Michonne and Carl, and then all of a sudden now he's got senior citizens he's got to worry about, a whole bunch of people on buses, and I'm just trying to find the reasoning behind.
Well, we know during this season. Well, after Carl had to kill his mom. Rick flipped, man. He was seeing shit. He was seeing shit. He wasn't himself until the end of the season finale when he looked up. His wife up there.
So that he woke up and then he's like, okay, I gotta be the leader. I gotta take responsibility. I gotta save these people.
I know what you're saying. Why take all these people in? I think they're just the women and children. I don't think they're any threat.
Right.
I don't think they're a threat. He has to. And I also think he has to become a good role model to his son before his son becomes a sick fucking maniac going beyond anything the governor has become. Well, Carl is growing up, and he's not doing things with the right set of shit in his head. He's just going a little nuts. I understand he had to do some fucked up shit. He had to fucking kill his mother. I mean, that's kind of neat too.
He killed Shane too.
Exactly. I mean, so, and give it to, some people are saying, why did he shoot that dude? Well, the dude didn't put his gun down right away. He was still.
The guy was obviously going to do something, but still, he didn't give him a chance.
He didn't give a chance, but the guy was still kind of holding the gun. If he threw the gun down and Carl shot him, maybe that'd be a little more different. But I think Rick has to step up and become Carl's father again.
Right. You know what? I feel that the whole thing last episode with Merle, that could have been a season finale, because the season finale's got to be better than an episode. It's got to be better than an episode, and it wasn't. And that's what I'm saying. It's like you false advertise, like this is going to happen. There's going to be only one survivor, one group, and that's not what you get. And not only that, but the stupid commercials, placement of the commercials, where you only had 3 minutes for the season finale, and then they went beyond the time. And then they throw Talking Dead in the middle of it and all this stuff. And I was just like, I was so pissed off with the placement of the commercial, the timing. You didn't have enough time to end it, and you knew it was going to end it like crap. You know, I was just...
You remember last year's season finale? You saw the prison in the background, okay?
Yeah.
You saw the first appearance of Michonne. You know what? It would be kind of really hard to top that, because that was an epic ending. You know what I mean?
It's like the best season, I think, too.
Exactly. But I don't believe they're going to be in the prison come this season.
I hope not, because I got to tell you...
It won't surprise me if the season starts out and they're not even in the prison anymore. They're just on the road or something like that. Hopefully. They're done with the prison, man. They're done. It's not even secure.
You know what it is? Every season they went to a new place. And the first thing when I saw this, I'm like, oh, not the prison again. Because you know what? It's going to get boring. And not only that, they signed David Morrissey, the governor, for another 16 episodes as a series regular. Meaning that he's not going to die at all. And you know, they're not going to kill him. He's going to be alive to the... So now here we got 32 episodes of, again, like before there's an actual Rick governor confrontation. You know what I'm saying? I just hope they don't do that. I hope that early on there's something to do with the governor and Rick. But,
I agree, and I also think it's time for some flashbacks, man. Like, I want to see the governor before he got a little fucked up in the head.
Well, you're going to see that. That's a definite.
Right. You know, shit like that. But also, I don't think the governor is going to have anything to do with Rick right away. I think it's going to be a slow pace, man, for next season, because they're going to kind of be on to something else, I believe.
I think they should go in a direction where they should start explaining what happened, or try to find answers on how everybody's infected, what's going on. And I think they need to touch on season 1, because if you think about it, they had the guy that died. Remember the guy that he saw visions in his head, and he started digging like 20 graves because he's like, oh my God. He saw a vision of the future where everybody attacked the camp, and he dig all those graves. And then when he got bit, he also saw another vision that didn't even happen yet. He tells Rick, he says, whatever you do, stay by the boat. Okay. So obviously this guy had been able to see the future. And he gave Rick a little clue at season 4, possibly, whatever you do, stay with the boat. Now another thing too, you know, if I was, you know, they left the guy behind. You saw him as he was going to become a zombie. He didn't want to kill. He didn't want to commit suicide. He didn't want them to shoot him. He just wanted to become a walker, a zombie. And people they couldn't believe it. But you know what? That was his choice, and they left him there. But if you think about it, it took the longest for him to transform. Like, it was like, what, a day or more? And Milton turned like that. But the thing, what I'm trying to say is, who's to say maybe somebody has something in body chemistry? Maybe the guy didn't turn. Like, you never know. I mean, there's people out there that body chemistry is different. Yeah,
don't be surprised if someone is immune to the virus.
Right. Like, maybe this guy will come back in season 4. He's like, what's up, Rick? And he has his own bands with Army, and he's like, oh my God, you're supposed to be a walker. And he's like, I don't know, I just didn't turn. You know, like, I mean, Milton was doing research trying to figure out maybe there's a way to turn people back. But obviously that didn't turn out. But what if it's possible that some people just won't turn? You know what I'm saying?
Good point. Yeah.
Maybe they could have did a thing with Andrea where, you know, she was bit on the neck. I would have did something, oh my God, she just didn't turn. I mean, that would have been cool too. You know?
Yeah, they didn't give that chance, I guess. But yeah, I understand what you're saying.
You know what? Leave me alone. You know, I just want to, you know, and maybe she waited for the governor to come back, and then she would have, like, hid her scar, and she would have held off the transformation, and then, you know, she would have been with the governor, and then at night in the bed, she would have just turned into a walker and ate him. I mean, that's if they didn't keep him. There's so many different things they could have done with him.
Yeah.
You know? And I would have thought as Andrea, oh, I got it, but you know what? Let's stop it with the suicide garbage that they did from season 1, season 2. You know, her whole purpose is this guy really hurt her friends. She would have wanted some payback. You know
I agree, man. But Michonne's gonna go off too, man, on a vengeance.
Right. So
yeah, I agree with you with the whole, and I think most people will. I don't think it was time for Andrea to go just yet. And I think she definitely went shittily. She definitely.
Listen, I know she got death threats as the actress. She was people pissed, thinking she sided with the governor, thinking that it's a real life thing, and people were threatening her and everything else.
Yeah.
But you know, in a way, it would have been a nice closure if at the end she would have killed the governor and she was with Rick's group. And you know, she was going to die. It should have been a dramatic death. It should have. And the assassin she became to be overcome that easily didn't make any sense to me as a viewer and as a writer too. I mean, it's like another thing that didn't make sense to me. Last week's episode, where you got the character of Merle, and he went through this whole thing, and all of a sudden, he just lets Michonne go. And he's like, I got to do something. That was like a waste. Like the whole thing, it's like, what are you doing? You know? And then all of a sudden, it was great what happened. I mean, I thought it was classic that the governor flipped. He bit his fingers off and turned him to Walker, and then Daryl had to kill him. But that was right there. The monumental event of that could have been the season finale. Because with the
scene with him with Michonne, he had to change the heart. Or like you said before, he just wanted, to shut the hell up because she kept talking.
So that's what I'm saying. You had a monumental ending like that, and you haven't seen that. You know, in the beginning of the episode, they always have something happen, and they go, da-na-na-na-na-na, da-na-na. It's like a shocking thing, like, oh my God. You know, we don't really see that lately. They just throw the music in there, and it's like, oh, all right. You know, like, all right, they did throw one thing, like, calls like Dad, I don't think you should be a leader anymore. And he's like this. And it's like, da-na-na-na-na, it's like Walking Dead, and they show the credit and everything. But I mean, like,
I agree. There should have been more of a dramatic ending. But it's gonna be hard to top last year's, man. We only got till October until we get the new season. It's not like other shows we watch that we gotta wait God knows when. At least October. I'm thankful for that.
The biggest mistake as a writer is to try to top something, because if you get too stressed out where you got to do bigger, that's on your face. Really just go at it and just like tell it, stop trying to outdo yourself. And the whole thing is that yes, it was a good episode. Okay, the thing that saved it as a good episode was the governor going apeshit. Okay, I give you that. Yeah. But we didn't get what we were promised. No Rick, governor on camera, not even looking at each other, not even spitting in each other's face, not even a punch thrown, nothing. And Rick is the leader. And they focused on Glenn and Maggie, and then Herschel chilling with none of them died. Herschel didn't die. I don't know how long Herschel was in the comics, but I would have thought somebody would have died. But then none of them died. And Woodsbury, you got every ammo, you got food up the yin yang, and you just leave Woodsbury. You don't even take no food. And I'm sure they took some food, but
they can't take the chance to go to Woodbury because, dude, the governor probably has traps there. Traps.
I know, but the governor has two people. He's just, and you know what? That's the best is he's more dangerous by himself with the army because he just doesn't care.
Right, exactly.
My favorite scene in the episode was when after all the people, there's 2 people left. They were scared. They were behind a truck. The guy's like, oh, and the other guy's like. Like, oh my God, am I gonna get shot in the head? And that was the greatest scene ever of the whole episode. With his own people petrifying this guy. They had rifles, machine guns. They cut him in the head, but they know that he would have just did some crazy thing, and he would have shot them all and killed them all. And they were just scared. I mean, they had probably grenades, everything, and they're scared of this one man. The pure elegance behind him, the power. Not only entitled governor. This guy was like, oh my God.
Yeah. Well, okay, I want to say I don't think Rick was ready to face the governor yet until he got the shit out of his head. You know what I mean? I think he needed to clear his head first, so then when they do have an epic battle, like you said, Rick will shave that face, right? And he'll be ready then.
Take the hat off Carl's head, put it on your head.
Right.
Get into your sheriff mode, your leader
badge
mode.
back on. Yeah, I think we need him as a leader. Then he can fight the governor. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? Not to be like a fan, but you know what? You need the uniform on him. He has a uniform all the time. Sheriff uniform, hat. You're the leader. You gotta be presentable. I mean, don't tell me there's no showers in the prison. They had showers. They had food and everything. He's getting all scruffy. He's seeing Shane with a shotgun. He's seeing Lori. Get that out of it, because that's not working. Okay. Don't do that. Don't chop off his hand like in the comic. You know, and try to be like Army of Darkness with the sword or whatever. Look, stop biting off everything else.
Right.
This is different now. You already established that it's not like the comics. Just by cutting off Andrea, just by keeping the governor alive. So don't make him go crazy. Get that out of there. Okay. Maybe in the first episode, the prison gets blown up. Something happens, or there's a leak, a toxic leak, and the place is going to blow up, and then you're out of there. Don't stay in the prison more than a couple episodes, because that's just, and Woods get rid of that too, because that's.
Yeah, like I said, man, I think you're going to be in for a treat when season 4 starts. Oh, dude, on top of Tyrese he's going to be a kick-ass character, and also don't forget the girl that survived the governor's shooting.
Right.
She's one. Yeah, now she's going to be one to keep an eye on too, because I'm sure she's not happy right now either.
I want to see them on the boat that the guy talked about in season 1. Maybe they can take off in the boat, episode 1, and they can have walkers on the yacht, whatever it is, or maybe they can have a huge cruise ship take over.
Yeah, or a Disney cruise ship, definitely.
Oh, some type of cruise. There's a million different rooms. There's walkers everywhere, and that would be interesting. Then they go off to where they gotta go. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody that knows how to move the ship around, the boat or whatever it is, and do something different, and maybe have the governor have something where he's tracking them and he's building.
Oh yeah.
You know, I'm sure that the 4th season, the opening thing is going to be facts galore with the governor. I'm sure they're going to do something with each of the characters, and I know we're going to have a wedding probably in season 4 with Glenn and Maggie.
Yeah, or they might be already married. They might skip. They might, like they did kind of last season. They might skip. You know what I mean? And things already happened. That's what I'm saying. They might. They might, man. That's why they might not be in the prison when season 4 starts. They might not be. They might just be on the road in the buses, heading, maybe like you said, the boat, maybe to a hospital. You know, shack up in a hospital for a while.
Now I heard I heard a rumor that when I was going to see filming for Doctor Who, there was some type of rumor, because something Walking Dead in the city, that they were going to come eventually to New York City. And they were going to film in New York City. But have you heard anything about that?
No, I haven't heard anything like that. If you want to kind of go by the comic books, I don't think they ever went to New York.
I don't think they go by the comics.
Washington, D.C., though, is a major part in the comics, but I don't know what they're going to do, if they're going to do that or not. TV show. I mean, who knows?
In the comics, they ever explain what happened?
To who?
What triggered the virus, or who created it, or what happened?
No, not to my knowledge.
They're just not bothering with it, I guess, right?
I mean, I don't really want to talk about the comic book, because just in case, I don't want to.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All the stuff in the comic book happens in the show.
Right.
You know?
Right. I mean, they're going to take some of the best out.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to talk to me, not on a podcast, yeah, but I don't want any people getting mad at me.
Yeah,
let them have at you a little bit.
Let me tell you, I did not, when I made the Walking Dead videos, because I did review a lot of videos in the past, like I was like a late bloomer with the Walking Dead. I seen the first episode, then things happened, and then I didn't get to see it. And Dr. Freedom, I kept bringing it to my attention. You got to see Walking Dead. You got to see Walking Dead. So thanks, Dr. Freedom. I did look it up, watch it on Netflix and stuff. And I was always doing videos. But the thing was, I didn't realize also that in the UK, that for some reason they don't see it until a week later.
Yeah.
Which I'm thinking, okay, everybody's seen it already, and then you know what? I didn't mean to piss people, and I did. And also, too.
Well, because you put her death in the title.
Yeah, I know, and I didn't.
The video.
The title was so long, and I didn't mean. And I was trying to comment. I shouldn't even comment it. And I say, well, the moment you see someone Walking Dead, if you're like me, because like I had this week's episode ruined on Facebook totally. So I said to myself, okay, when I don't want to see no more spoilers about Doctor Who or whatever, I'm not even looking on Facebook. I'm not even looking. I'm Walking Dead 2. I'm not even going to look at anything because I don't want to know what's going on anymore. So like the moment someone Walking Dead in my title, they should have been like, I'm not watching the video at all. Well, I'm not even reading the rest of the line on there. But
I know,
I know. People said like, you Matrix Lord.
I know you didn't mean it. Yeah, that sucks.
From now on, going forward, anything to do with The Walking Dead, I will not put a spoiler in the title or in the description, and I apologize right here. So I'm going to say it right here. No more. Not going to do that more. And I didn't mean to piss off anybody either. So, but, I also, wanted to poll on the Andrea thing as well as, because honestly, I do feel there's politics involved. I do feel like with the showrunner leaving, that's why we didn't get better. We didn't get a better episode. I honestly think that way. I mean, I don't know how this is going to be, and he's really not a new guy. I think he's been doing this since the beginning, right? So hopefully we'll have to. I'm going to. Of course, I'm going to give it a chance. I would just.
Yeah, I know you will. I know you will. But the biggest letdown for me was the Andrea thing. Was the biggest. But if you look past that, I don't think it was a horrible.
It was
episode.
A good episode, but it wasn't.
Right, it wasn't the best season finale ever.
Finale in my eyes at all.
Right.
Like it was just like, okay, this guy's on his way out. They couldn't make it monumental, and he's like, oh, let me just finish this and get done, do my own.
Right, exactly.
So we'll have to wait and see. I mean, David Morrissey signed. I say I could be wrong, but I say as a fan, not as a writer, as a fan, I say if they kill Rick off, I'm done because I feel he's the whole show.
Wow.
You may feel differently about that.
Yeah, it's the way, man. It's the way. No, the way I look at it is nobody's the main character.
Yeah. See, I don't look at.
I know what you're saying. They focused on Rick, but I come from reading again the comics too. So even reading them, I don't focus on anybody reading the main character. Even with the comics more, Rick's not really like he's not. I'd say like Michonne's more.
Right.
More popular than he, and Tyrese even, But I look at it like anybody can die at any time. But of course, I mean, I love Rick's character. I hate to see him go.
Yeah, see me, like, every single time they go to The Walking Dead, he's always been Rick, and they show season 1, running towards the barn, they show him governor, it's always been Rick. And it started with Rick, and I feel that The Walking Dead, if it's going to get canceled or would end, has to end with Rick. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see him become a walker, because you know what? To me, that would be like hope for the show, because they turn. To me, it's like a thing. You feel like you're a part of something. Like, I feel like, being part of the show when I'm watching it. Like you feel, you have a connection to the character. And to me, he's the main character. I mean, everything has been based on him. From the beginning, before there was even walkers, to Laurie, Shane, Carl, you take that out of the mix. Like, okay, if Carl died, and then he died, then okay, it's a different show. It's Daryl being the leader or whatever. But I do feel that that's like, different things happen. I think that would be a big mistake taking Rick out of the equation like that. I do feel he is the show, because even though it may not be for the comics, they made it that way. They made it that, okay, when you say Walking Dead, one name and one character comes to mind, it's Rick. Rick. So that's, to me, I don't think they could do it without Rick.
Yeah, I agree, man. I would hate to see Rick go out of anybody, because they did push it like he was for the TV show. They pushed it he was the main guy. It's all, but not. I mean, we know not everything's effective, but it did start out with him waking up. You know what I mean? His story.
Different in season 3 where they had one episode where he wasn't in it at all. Like, not even anybody from the prison. It was all Woodsbury.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know what? I don't mind if they did more episodes like that, because then...
honestly, with that, it was a good episode, but I did not like it. Like, when they didn't focus on Rick and the crew, and they had, like... To me, it was like, okay, let's experiment and see if the fans would go for a new cast. That's what that episode's about.
Well, you're a big Rick fanboy, I see. Understandable.
Yeah, I felt that they were just experimenting. Sort of like in the comics when they took Peter Parker out of the comic for like 2 years and they had Ben Reilly in there or whatever. And I'm not going to get into that because that'll be another podcast. But I'm just saying, I felt that was an experiment, and I wasn't going for that. But anyway, Michonne, I think, has become a great character. I love her character. I love Daryl. Carl, he could become like an evil governor, and I don't like that.
He could, man. He could. He's going that.
I mean, left from the original. It's just who's left?
What, from the first season?
What's her name? Oh my God. Her name.
What, from the first season?
Carol. Right, that's it. That's all it is from the first, right?
Rick, yeah.
Rick and Carol.
And Daryl, yeah. Well, I said Daryl, but it rhymes with Carol.
Exactly.
Yeah, and Carl. So it's the 4 of those, right? No, Glenn.
Glenn was from series, right, Glenn. Maggie came later with Herschel, yeah.
2 second season. Yeah, that's all I could think of off the top of my head, man.
I mean, it's with characters and stuff, but I'm sure we're gonna lose like Herschel at some point.
Herschel, you think?
Yeah, I think they're gonna get Herschel off in season 4.
Be a big possibility, you know.
I mean, I you know what? If it doesn't follow the comics, I could see them killing Carl too. But then again,
I think something's going to happen with Carl. Either way, something big is going to happen with Carl.
And you know what? I would, you know what? If we never see his mother, so if they do something later on and she's still alive, which I don't know how that would happen, but if that was the case, that would be pretty awesome too.
Yeah, and they never showed her body either, right?
And the actress that played her, she was pretty upset. I mean, she even said for weeks and months she was just devastated that they killed her character off. You know, I wouldn't mind her returning there to fix things up. Maybe that could snap Rick back into reality, because I don't think he's fully returned yet either. You know,
yeah, I'm hoping he is by the beginning. I hope he got the shit out of his head. I'm hoping.
See, the thing is, I understand why they're doing it, because okay, it's like a fanboy thing where we'll see Dale in one episode, Shane in an episode, and it can bring people back. But I don't want that. I don't want the leads to be crazy.
No, I think that's a shit scene in his head, you know. And I think that's why they ended season 3 like this, where he looked up and didn't see anything anymore. Right. So it's done. He can move on. Like I said, he can shave his scruff. You'll be happy. You know what I mean? And he can move on. Yeah. I don't think he's gonna see his wife anymore, or Shane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's done with that. I think it's done. That was a little too much. That's what I didn't like about this season. I didn't like him going nuts.
I think Clear was the greatest episode, one of the greatest episodes I've ever seen.
Oh yeah. That's when he back in. What's his name? Huh?
Was it Malcolm?
Malcolm? Was it something like that?
Right? Or something like that. That was fantastic.
Yeah,
absolutely fantastic episode.
That was a good episode, and will we see him again? Possibility.
I'm sure.
Possibility. You know, he went through some of his own fucked up shit, you know, with his son and shit and his wife.
And the wife is the very one that killed his son.
Yeah, about that.
Did the show kill her though?
Did it show it?
No, did it kill his wife?
No, I think he did in the end, didn't he?
I don't remember. I thought Michonne killed her or something in the bar or whatever that place was. I don't know. I could be wrong. I gotta go back and watch that episode.
100% now, I think.
But like they had so many great things. Like say season 2, they had Sophia. I mean, that was one of the greatest things when Shane flipped out and they all got together and shot all the zombies. And I hope
the barn.
That was season 2 was my favorite season, man. That was wide open. You know,
and it ended great. It ended
great.
Ending.
Yeah, a great season like that because that was fantastic.
This season was a little slow paced. I completely hate the season. It was just a little slow, but I think season 4 is going to be big. We're used to some new character. We're used to the show now. She could definitely do an episode. Can hang now because everybody's familiar.
I don't really. After seeing season 1 and 2, I don't want to see no fillers anymore. I mean, I understand they raised the episode count to 16, but I don't want to see fillers. I want to see, episodes like Andrea going on alone and Governor Attack and all that. I mean, I like that episode. I thought that with the ruthlessness of the governor, he loved it that he was trapped in this house, this area with 1 million zombies, and he just got off on it. You know?
Yeah.
I thought that was great. But I just hope that we don't see no more fillers. If you got to understand, this is The Walking Dead. There's no time for fillers. You either get the writers on there and you the characters connected together. You don't have 12 episodes. So no fillers. Get the main cast together, do it, and that's it. I don't want to see season 3 is the lesser of the seasons as far as I'm concerned. And season 1 had less episodes, but a better season.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. But I think we're going to probably get a couple filler episodes. I think they'll do it.
Right.
I don't like the standalone one. They might make a really cool one and not show the governor for a while, or just little pieces of them, and then make it one episode like what the hell he been up to with his 2 goons, You might find it to be fantastic and be like, holy shit, I'm glad they did this. And that's what I'm kind of hoping for.
They're definitely. If he don't appear, he's definitely gonna have a segment in the episode, being behind a desk, being just a regular person, like his wife. I'm sure they're gonna do a scene where his wife's calling, trying to reach him for food and everything, and they're gonna show his daughter and everything, and sort of like show how he was just a regular person nobody cared about. I'm definitely sure they're gonna do that.
I hope so. I'd like to see that.
So,
but yeah, that's pretty much that, man. Unless you have anything else to say about the season finale.
That's it. I just wish we had more of a part in it, in the war, so to speak, instead of being on the sidelines in a way. And now, hopefully, if he's back to normal, then he can get it in gear. But where did Carl run off to?
After the bar
he ran at the end. Carl's out of the house again. Where did he go now? Like, Carl ran away. Like, there's going to definitely be. I mean, the kid's getting older. There's definitely going to be a moment where the father is going to come against the son because I see.
Hopefully, Rick connects with him before that happen, man. Hopefully, they connect at a father and son level, and maybe Rick's got to slap around and relax. I got my shit back in my head. I'm okay.
I think the kid is going crazy.
I think Carl was upset with him too because he saw his dad going fucking nuts.
Yeah.
On top of it, this whole season, basically. You know what I mean? Dad really didn't have any good real sit-downs with him, Yeah,
and now he's becoming nuts where it's like more controlled nuts, where he knows he's going nuts, the kid, but he don't care. He'll shoot anybody.
Yeah,
he'll shoot Maggie or Glenn, not even give a crap.
Yeah, they're going to have to watch for him.
Very governor thing, I mean.
Mm-hmm. He might actually have an eye patch next season. You never know.
They did a joke on that. I think you sent it to me, or somebody sent it to me, with a patch on. Somebody saw that on Facebook. It was like an Oreo cookie. Hey, dude, thank you so much for doing the Horrorcast. And I think you and I are going to come back. We're going to talk about some movies that I've watched recently, and you saw the same movie. Maybe we'll do that for episode 2. We'll do like some movies, and maybe we'll do American Horror Story. I'll start getting to that too.
Yeah, I'm all caught up on both seasons of that too.
All right. This has been the Horrorcast, and have a great day, everybody. Take care.